Hey everyone, so quick Terraria news video. We've got a brand new state of the game, so as always, let's just jump into it. Now real quick, if you missed it, I recently released a full recap that aims to give you every single spoiler for the update in under 11 minutes. I'll leave a link to that video at the top of the description. But now let's see what Realogic had to say. Are February the month of love, or something like that? Well, we certainly love and appreciate each and every Terrarian out there, so let's go with it. Anyway, the team is whittling away at the remaining tickets in the system and making great headway down that road. We also have some fun new spoilers to showcase this month that we hope everyone will enjoy. Beyond that, we're really just hoping to be able to finally give a release window with some certainty sometime soon. We know that this update has taken a very long time and we appreciate your patience more than we can say. Please hang in there with us a bit longer. One of the long-running aspects of the upcoming Terraria update has been the development of a whole new suite of biome backgrounds, handcrafted by Luna, also known as runic pixels. These deceptively detailed works of art really set the mood and keep things fresh as you explore each Terraria world. We are showing just a few examples below, but we have several others already completed and ready for prime time. Make sure that you take the time to look closely and take in all of the details. Now included is 4 different backgrounds, which we're going to look at individually, and when Realogic call these deceptively detailed, they really mean it. Because if you just stop and look, there's a lot of little things going on in the background, things to just make you wonder. Like this one, for example, is just absolutely stunning. You don't need to look that close, but if you do, you can see there's like a little fairy circle going on. Why? Like, what does that mean for the world of Terraria? That's the thing with Terraria. You can sort of fill in your own backstory, and I can totally imagine somebody just playing the game like normal, taking a moment to actually glance at the background, and then making their own little story for what's going on back there. This snow one just gives me like actual chills looking at it. It's incredible. I love how the trees look. I love how fluffy this snow-covered tree looks in the middle. And this corruption one, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it could scratch me. Does that make sense? Like it just looks sharp. I really love how the roots just burrow through this overhang and just sit there. Like, it's a reminder of how big trees are. I know it's a bit random, but if you ever think about how big roots are, it is kind of mad. And then this crimson one, like, what bones are those? Like, who does that belong to? I think we can all agree these backgrounds are incredible, and better yet, they do continue to say, again, there are several more where these came from, more than 10 as of today, and we cannot wait to see what you think of them when 1.4.5 releases. As someone who thinks about Terraria backgrounds a lot because I use them in every single thumbnail I ever make, I'm so grateful that we're getting more. Even though people haven't been vocal about it, I feel like the community has been itching for something like this. Like, you'll often see background texture packs make their way to the top of Steam Workshop, so it's really exciting that we're getting so many new ones. Luna, the artist behind these, took to the comments to write, "I want to give a huge thank you to Realogic for giving me the chance to create and to give back to the game that I grew up loving so much. Terraria got me into pixel art and modding back in 2011, and I never thought it would come full circle like this. I also want to thank all of you from this awesome community for all of your encouragement alongside this journey. I'm grateful to be part of this awesome community. I'll do my best to work hard and continue to put as much magic and wonder into this beloved game as possible and to give back to this amazing community." And yeah, you have killed it with these. Like, they're incredible. Now, the only other spoiler I noticed in this state of the game, and I could be wrong about this, is this a new hairstyle? Like, I'm not the best person to ask. I've been using the same hairstyle for 13 years, but it looks new, right? Now, as always, I have a couple of extras, but before we jump into it, if you missed it, earlier in the month, Starforge were kind enough to send me one of their official Terraria PCs that they made in collaboration with Realogic. I did a full unboxing video on the channel if you're interested in seeing what it's like. I just wanted to take a moment to thank them once again for sending one my way. It's been a few weeks now, and I can't can't stop staring at it. I think it's one of the best things I've ever seen as a Terraria fan. If you missed the unboxing, I'll leave a link to it in the description, and if you want to check one of these out for yourself, I'll leave a link to that as well. That's not an affiliate link or anything, but just know they did send me a free computer, and I am so grateful for that. Right, so let's take a look at some extras I was able to find. First off, somebody wrote to Red on Blue Sky and said, "Hey Red, is there a chance we can get a slightly different sound effect for the fishing bobber or pet/minion entering/exiting water?" Well, Red responded and said, "Yeah, this was a mistake on my part when we added fishing. We should have used a different sound so it works as a better notification. We've debated changing it before, but didn't get anywhere. I'll think about it again." On the forums, somebody wrote to Red and said, "Notice some of the blocks like frozen slime, silly balloons, gem spark, active/inactive stone, bubbles, etc., etc., didn't have tooltips explaining their functionality. Certain blocks like grates and pink slime do. So is this an oversight?" With Red responding, "We should probably do something about this." On Blue Sky, somebody wrote, "Something I'd love for Terraria to have in a future update is the ability for resource packs to override the music conditions. For example, giving two bosses different music when they share the same in vanilla, or vice versa." With Red responding, "I think every boss should have its own track after this update." Now this is interesting because if you've been keeping up with which bosses have been confirmed to have music tracks, we know about the Twins, Eater of Worlds, Torch God, King Slime, Skeletron, and Skeletron Prime. And if Red's confirming that every boss has its own music track, that means that we're very likely to be getting a music track for Golem or the Lunatic Cultist. Now, I could be wrong, but I would lean towards the Lunatic Cultist because Golem had that soundtrack first in 1.2, the Lunatic Cultist stole it in 1.3. On the forums, somebody wrote to Red and said, "How about making Storm Lightning expand if there are coins on the ground and do more damage depending on the value of the coins, so players can use coins as traps for enemies during storms?" With Red responding, "It would be hilarious and amazing if lightning hit a coin. I'm going to think about this." If you haven't seen that big recap I made earlier in the month, I've already spoken about this, but on the forums, Red Row had a burst of inspiration the other night and made some situational improvements to a few dungeon weapons. Which ones, you ask? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see with that one. On the forums, somebody wrote, "Hey Red, would it be possible to add an option to remove modifiers at the Goblin Tinkerer? This would allow items to stack more easily and make inventory management smoother. Just a small quality of life change that would go perfectly with the upcoming 1.4.5 Reforge improvements." With Red responding, "You've given me something to think about." On Blue Sky, somebody wrote, "All I want is a way to turn off multiplayer respawn during a boss fight." With Red responding, "You don't know how many times I've thought about this already. I'll be real, I don't set up a lot of multiplayer Terraria servers, but I feel like this would be a very easy option to add and would be pretty interesting." On the forums, somebody wrote, "Could you please make stink bugs more common? Also a way to convert fly meal into an accessory. Destroyer emblem makes sense." With Red responding, "That's actually a decent idea. Must finish update." And there we go. That is absolutely everything. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.